Michael Jackson. I mean, just say the name, and you instantly think of the moonwalk, packed arenas, a sound that completely shaped a generation. But what if there was something more going on? A much deeper message, a kind of philosophical mission, hidden right there in the music. Today, we're going to dig into the ideas from a fascinating book by Ayumu Yasutomi called The Thought of Michael Jackson to try and figure out what the king of pop was really trying to tell us.
Yeah, we all know this Michael, the global superstar, the entertainer nobody could touch, an icon whose impact we still feel all over the world. He was, no question, the king of pop.
But this book, right from the very first page, makes a claim that is, well, it's pretty out there. It just states it, plain and simple. Michael Jackson is a savior. Whoa, a savior? What on earth could that possibly mean?
So how in the world do you build a case for Michael Jackson being some kind of messianic figure? Well, this is where the book gets really interesting, because it moves way beyond just his fame and dives deep into his artistic strategy. Before we can even get to what his message was, we first have to understand how he was trying to deliver it. And according to the book, Michael wasn't just singing to our ears. No, he was trying to communicate directly with our souls.
The whole argument is that his performances, especially his live concerts, were engineered to be so overwhelming, such a massive sensory and emotional experience, that they just bypassed our logical, critical thinking. The point wasn't for you to analyze the message, it was for you to feel it deep down, on a subconscious level. And the book actually gives this whole strategy a name, Message to the Subconscious. It was a deliberate artistic choice, and the song Jam is pointed out as a perfect example. The whole goal was to open up a direct line to your heart, to plant these little seeds of an idea without you even realizing it was happening.
Okay, so why? Why go through all this trouble to communicate in such a complex way? Well, the book argues it all came from a very deep, very painful personal conflict he was going through. The author suggests that this incredible artistic mission, this drive to send a message to the entire world's subconscious, it wasn't born from a place of happiness. It actually came from a place of immense personal pain. It was his way of working through a massive internal struggle.
And you can actually see little hints of this struggle right there in his lyrics. Let's go back to Jam for a second. Listen to those lines. It's the sound of someone who feels completely trapped, forced to play a part that the world wrote for him, and just losing his grip on who he really is under all that pressure.
Yasutomi gives this deep struggle a specific name, soul-splitting. And this is the core idea, really. It describes that agony of feeling disconnected from your own true self, being forced to perform a role that society has handed you. The book's whole argument is that Michael's art was his way of fighting back against this feeling and trying to heal it.
So let's see how this personal struggle evolved into the message behind his most famous anthems. This is where that wild idea of him being a savior starts to make a bit more sense. Not saving the world with some grand gesture, but through a really radical kind of interchange. And this brings us to two of his absolute biggest songs, Heal the World and Man in the Mirror. The book argues that they're not two separate ideas at all. They're actually two sides of the very same coin. One is the goal, and the other, that's the method. You can't heal the world until you start with the person in the mirror.
Now, the book offers a really different way to hear this super famous lyric from Heal the World. It suggests that when he says care enough for the living, he doesn't just mean, donating to charity. It's about paying full, complete attention to the simple fact of being alive, your own life and the life all around you.
So this analysis basically boils Michael's whole philosophy down into this simple but kind of revolutionary three-step plan. Step 1, pay attention, like really focus on the miracle of just being alive. Step 2, from that feeling, create a small, better place right where you are. According to the book, this is Michael's true message. Real global change starts with that very personal act.
So after going through all of this, what does it mean for us? How are we supposed to listen to his music now? The book is basically inviting us to re-experience his entire body of work, not just his great pop music, but as a kind of philosophy.
When you really boil it down, this analysis gives us a completely new way to look at him. It asks us to see Michael Jackson as a thinker who was using his art to send a really deep message about the pain of feeling disconnected and about the path to healing. And that path doesn't start out there somewhere, it starts right here with the person in the mirror. So we're left with this one final thought.
Knowing all this, thinking about a message aimed at our subconscious, born from a struggle called soul-splitting, and pointing to a revolution that starts inside each of us, the next time you put on a Michael Jackson song, what will you hear?